encompasses today's society, outlines and showcases specific appearances that people accept today as normal. Many females are illustrated in the media with familiar, glamorous images. These are what shape the psychological mindset that women build about their appearance. The female sex has experienced the negative pressure to transform or enhance their bodies. They feel the need to take on the appearance that media endorses and society considers attractive. The common person easily believes that these images are valid representation of reality, yet many multimedia productions use technology to manipulate illustrations. Women are especially targeted by modern culture to always appear as perfected and beautiful as celebrities and models of Hollywood. As a woman, I too feel these pressures, and I notice them within friends and family members as well. These pressures, influenced by media, often lead to disorders such as bulimia and anorexia. Other forms of body enhancements, such as plastic surgery and cosmetics, are also gaining popularity in today's society. These high expectations have an immense effect on a woman's psychological self-esteem and confidence. The media is the majority of the reason that young girls are growing up with the preconceived notion that this is how every American adult is expected to look like. Since the media sets the basis for societal norms, these ideas are then relayed to everyday conversations between humans. The aspects of physical appearance such as weight, height, skin color, hairstyles, and cosmetics is woven into the relationships people form with one another. Advertisements for popular items such as makeup, hairstyling products, and the latest fashion trends utilize glamorous and perfected human models in order to make the common person believe that something is wrong with them, Alexandra Osal explains. Insecurities and the constant urge to enhance one's appearance is the primary reason that the human population invests in various products. The psychological health of women with eating disorders is not easily treatable because, for the most part, females develop these insecurities during their adolescent years when the brain is developing. Francois Dolto, a psychoanalyst, explains that one's unconscious mind is powerful enough to convince oneself that they look different to others than they actually are. Ann Schultz article, Exposure to Slim Images in Mass Media. In other words, when women view themselves in the mirror, they concentrate solely on how they need to change their body in order to look beautiful to others. We need to take out these advertisements from television that cause women to think negatively about themselves and replace these with more positive messages. In addition to young girls being exposed to media beauty on television, many of the toys they are given also display unrealistic images of a woman's body. Since the brain is most vulnerable during its developing stage during puberty, it is not uncommon for young women to develop addictions to diet plans and other exercising. The large majority of women that have eating disorders are between the ages of 15 and 25, said Alexandra Osala in her College News article. Cartoon characters in movies such as the women in Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin, and The Little Mermaid take on the appearance of a realistic and mature woman. When children are exposed to these specific body types and appearances, their mind develops with the notions that they should also appear that way. Children are also exposed to toys that illustrate a specific image of beauty. The toy doll known as Barbie was released in 1959, Wolf states in Barbie, The Early History. The inventor of Barbie, Ruth Handler, released the doll, complaining that Barbie's purpose was for young girls to have a more realistic doll to play with than the traditional rag doll. It's ironic that Barbie was made for children, yet she took the form of a tall, skinny, and blonde adult. Many controversies surrounded the image that Barbie gave to young girls. Barbie has a mature body that increases her own outward sex appeal. This was disturbing for many consumers to purchase these adult dolls to give to young girls. The original Barbie doll also has contained a wardrobe of a typical 1950s housewife, which included a petticoat, bra, and girdle, Wolf says. When people converted Barbie doll's measurements into life-size ones, it was found that her proportions caused an overly large chest placed on an overly tiny bodice. If Barbie were a real person, her disproportional body would make it impossible for her to stand up straight, as shown by Neil Katz. Here we see an image of Barbie compared to an average woman. Barbie looks bizarre, and the measurements shown show how different she is from the average woman. Barbie's image is controversial and still debated in modern day. If eating disorders are developed at such a young age, children should have the least exposure possible to toys that portray these images of how women should look. Making more toys that resemble the average woman would be extremely helpful, and it would help boost confidence of young women. Oftentimes, magazines and advertisements do not realize the detrimental effects that their photos can have on women, especially adolescent girls. Even though models' beauty is highly photoshopped and manipulated, girls are being raised in a media society that presents these images as normal. Humans do not have the ability to naturally take the appearance of a Photoshop model or actress. Neil Katz states that a supermodel, on average, weighs 110 pounds and is 5'11", in comparison to the average American woman who weighs 140 pounds and is 5'4". With a large difference, it's impossible for the average person to take on the image of a supermodel. When these images are presented to a developing brain, girls will feel the need to appear just like them. Due to this method of indirect brainwashing, women often develop eating disorders, chronic depression, and other psychological disorders, Carrie Donovan says in his article Vanity Fair. When advertisements display glamour and beauty, its goal is to make the consumers believe that their life will be more fulfilling if they invest money into that product. The technological advancements used in advertising are also utilized in other countries and not just in the United States. Donovan says some countries' governments have acknowledged this correlation between the increased use of Photoshop and the number of individuals with eating disorders. England and France are attempting to pass laws that require photographers to indicate if their picture is enhanced by technology. In other countries, it's more likely that these laws can be successfully enforced than it is in the United States. Many attempts at legalizing advertisement warning labels have been unsuccessful because the judiciary system has declared them as a violation to the Constitution. Since Americans are constantly defying any violation to their freedom of speech, the media continues to distort our views on beauty without any consequences. If the U.S. can agree to enact laws such as these, the health and well-being of our young women would be impacted greatly in a positive way. Intensive weight loss, dieting, and reconstructive surgeries are a large part of today's media. Typical social interactions between people almost always involve a discussion regarding the latest diet plan or workout regimen. Alexandra Osala says that many people take dieting to the extreme or even stop eating altogether due to extremely low self-esteem. The most common and dangerous eating disorders are anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa. These diseases affect both psychological and physical health. This picture shows the women before and after anorexia and just how detrimental the disease can be. Anorexia and bulimia are extremely dangerous because these diseases starve the human body of all nutrients necessary for survival. In order to treat these, patients have to be hospitalized for nutritional help and also seek psychiatric therapy. More than 10 million Americans are currently suffering from an eating disorder, and 80% of women are not content with their bodies, True Carrick explains. Many scientists directly attribute these growing percentages to the use of body enhancements in the media. People are willing to spend large amounts of money and sacrifice their health in order to fulfill expectations set in place by images in the media. Americans spend $40 billion on programs, drugs, and other popular things to lose weight, according to the site.org. Many diet methods, such as pills and supplements, are harmful to one's well-being. Surgeries and injections have utilized $11 billion of Americans' money. Botox and breast augmentations are among the most popular surgeries for women. Many females often view these procedures as a necessary aspect of everyday life. Cosmetic surgeries are discussed in a nonchalant manner, as if they were typical, just as investing in new clothes, Angel states. The media encourages women to change their appearance simply if they are bored or want a change in their life. The reality is that changing a physical appearance will not enhance one's life. Here we see an ad for a plastic surgery company. In bold words, it displays, "Empower yourself beautiful." Many complications can occur with these during risky procedures, including disfiguration, paralysis, and even death. Women are willing to risk their lives in order to transform their bodies to society's formulated perceptions on a perfect body. Advertisements for these should not be allowed just anywhere. If women knew each risk associated, they would be less likely to get the procedure. Women would also be less likely to feel themselves if they were shown normal-sized and unmodified advertisements of females. The high expectations and standards that the modern woman is bound to have developed throughout history. The advancements of technology in both the medical and media fields have increased the pressures that women experience on a daily basis to improve their bodies. The number of women that struggle with eating disorders continues to rise, and many scientists credit these increasing numbers with the utilization of Photoshop programs in magazines and advertisements. Popular culture has ultimately created trends for today's female population to invest money into and transform their bodies to appear as physically attractive to society. With all this, something must be done to ensure the well-being of today's women. More advertisements with regular-sized women must be put in place, and children's toys should model the average female as well. Decreasing advertisements for the unrealistic woman will make our society a more comfortable place for women, which will make a better America.